It's Halloween, which means I'm bound by skeleton law to talk about a horror game. But my college schedule has been an absolute mess, since no teacher really knows how much online homework is actually appropriate to assign, so I haven't had a lot of time for video making or game playing lately. So today we're talking about the shortest horror game I could find for under $5. So here's a quick and dirty review of Imscared. Or should I say a quick and spooky review of Imscared.
He said it! He said it!
Imscared is one of the best horror games I've played in a long time. I don't know if it's at the peak of the maximum spookage chart with all the other great horror games, but it's close enough to the top for me to recommend it. The game's essentially a walking sim with a gameplay loop that consists of 50% jump scares and 50% crazy, wacky gimmicks. Sometimes you run from the somewhat terrifying, somewhat goofy-looking white face and his feminine friend, but for the most part it's wandering around and solving puzzles. A game that consists of mostly jump scares doesn't exactly sound like it would be that good or very avant-garde, but the puzzles the game has you solve more than make up for it. I don't want to spoil too many of the puzzles, but let's just say it takes the meta-mechanic shenanigans of Undertale and Doki Doki and kicks it up to 11. Any game where I have to stop playing it and mess with my settings on my PC always gets good noodle points from me. The atmosphere is fantastic and almost instantly makes you feel uncomfortable. There's a point in the forest chapter, for example, where you have to play the game windowed in order to look at the map in a different tab to figure out exactly where you're going. In that very same area, there's a segment where you have to jump back and forth between a spooky shadow world and the regular world. If you're a big old crying baby like myself, you may consider playing for a bit in the windowed mode so you can look at your Persona Weeb tier wallpaper for comfort.
What's all this about? Seriously, I'm gonna call the cops!
But the shadow world is so dark, you are forced back into the big screen and have to just deal with the oozingly dark atmosphere the game has so you can see where you're going. That's pretty good game design right there. One of my biggest gripes with where the game can improve is in its audio design. There's a specific segment where you have to listen for the direction of several different music boxes and M2 slam them into the ground. That's all well and good, but the game lacks audio direction, so when you're spinning around you can't really hear what direction the sound is coming from. It gets louder the closer you are to it, but you can't hear it from a specific direction. I got excited when I first got into this area and I slapped on my headphones because headphones and directional audio in a horror game go hand in hand like prom king and queen. But the game didn't have it, and I ended up getting commandoed by one of the ghoulies. But that's enough bullying a game made in Game Maker Studio. Seriously, the fact that a Game Maker game achieved 3D graphics that look this solid, innovative gimmicks that maximize the use of the platform the game's running on, unnerving atmosphere, and intriguing world design, it's very impressive. The narrative of the game, however, is pretty bare bones. The game's more about soaking in the world and atmosphere and preparing for the creative spooks it gives you, rather than giving you the big think that most narrative games gives. But it still has its mysteries and is still fun to unravel them. Imscared is completely worth the price of its admission, which is around the price of 3 Costco hot dogs. It's half creative and half outdated, but the creative aspects of it vastly outweigh some of its older design decisions. Go play it and get scared. It's worth it. Happy Halloween. Thank you for watching as usual. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I started making this video at midnight on Halloween and I'm uploading it whatever time I uploaded it, so I'm going to go, if you're watching it on the day it was uploaded, I'm more than likely asleep right now. If you liked my content, please consider subscribing. If you have any thoughts or comments about Imscared, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Thanks guys and take care.